It started with a bet on Twitter, and it grew into a proper rivalry with an electric atmosphere and an actual trophy that gets shipped to the winning side supporters. The Henny Derby between Forward Madison and the Richmond Kickers is coming up, and we wanted to take a look at how it all began and how it developed into what it is today. There's really no one better to talk about it than podcast extraordinaire Elliot Barr of River City 93 and our very own Kyle Carr, the two people who were there at the start. So let's kick it over to them so they can give us the history of the Henny Derby in 10 minutes or less.
So the Henny Derby pretty much is a derby between Forward Madison and Richmond. It started over a bet right before our first game against Forward Madison because Richmond was in a horrible run of form. I think we were like 6 or 7 games without a goal, and I needed something to like cheer me up. So I hit Kyle up, and me and Kyle interacted on Twitter because we were like part of the For the Culture group and everything like that. And I was just like, yo, it's gotta be something. Like we were just talking, like we were just both passionate about our teams. And I was like, yo, you know what? How about we bet a bottle of Hennessy on the game? And he was like, all right, cool, bet. Like that's what's up. Heritage Night, which was the third game of that season, we played them in Richmond. So I was like, well, that's cool. You know, we got 2 games before Heritage Night. We play in the Henny Derby and everything like that. Kyle hit me up and was like, yeah, we could do it. So we get the Henny Derby started. Daniel Jackson scores. And immediately as he scores, that's why I always say, like, I'm eternally grateful to Daniel Jackson. He will always be one of my favorite kickers players because he scored in the first Henny Derby and won us the first trophy. That man, he can name my kids. Well, I can. He's that important to that game. And it was kind of cool because we had bragging rights over Forward Madison. We have the first official win. That will always be history.
That is true.
No matter what.
And I think what made the Henny Derby more special was after the first game, it was like 2 weeks later, Ford Madison Richmond played again. So it was like by the time things got settled down, I was like, we had to get right back into it. And then Pato scored. That was able to get Ford Madison the clinch for that one. And then it kind of got down to this third game. And between the Heritage Night and, you know, this is the game. This is, you know, kind of a winner takes all situation. And both teams are still fighting for playoffs at the time. It just made for this moment of, this is kind of like when you think of rivalries, like you have 2 close games beforehand, and now you have this rubber match. Now you have this winner takes all. And I think that kind of just heightened it to a new level because of it.
The third match was, I don't know how to describe it, man. It is like even so real going back to watching like the For the Culture videos and podcast that was around that time. You still can't get a good grasp of how crazy that game was because of the fact of like, it was Heritage Night. It was the Henny Derby. You had people from Atlanta, New England, Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, West Virginia, DC, Maryland, all here for like a lower division soccer game. And then on top of that, you had like some of the biggest names in soccer media there as well, like Total Soccer Show guys, Jason Day, Pablo Amara, Andy Sneeves. Like, it was crazy.
There was like one supporter group, a line of seats, and then the other supporter group. And
which, by the way, we got fined for.
Of course.
Yeah, we got fined by League One for it.
But, I mean, both supporter groups were fine. Like, no one crossed the line. No one tried starting fights. Everyone was in there doing their own thing, trying to out-chant and out-sing each other and be louder than the other side. You know, both groups have brought drums, and I think that really, and it made the atmosphere probably the best atmosphere for a League One game.
If you would have brought someone that was, I would say, like a Euro snob into that Henny Derby match and not tell them, like, this is USL League One, they probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They probably would think it was just lower division, like England soccer, because of how passionate, like, both sides were just going at each other. Like, it was like Forward would chant, Richmond would chant. Richmond would chant, Forward would chant. But then it got to the point, I think, around like the 60th or 70th minute, Forward Madison supporters got really super loud. And Richmond, we were kind of like, damn, like, we still ain't scored this goal yet. Like, you know, it happens in every supporters group. Like, you ain't scored that goal yet, you're like, damn, I just need something to cheer us up. And then, like, the whole stadium just got into it. But it was, like, such a unique feeling. Like, it was like, damn, this hasn't happened before. Because, I mean, granted, we had a bad year, but to hear that kind of atmosphere, that kind of pop, it was crazy. So my wife's best friend, so my wife's a teacher along with me, and one of my wife's side hustles is being an artist. So they designed the trophy off of an old Henny bottle that we had that I got from my god brother Jordan, who is a Hennessy connoisseur. Like, he has every kind of Hennessy you could think of and types you ain't never heard of. It did have a plaque on the bottom of it, but it kind of fell off in the middle of the game. So there's some photos where you'll see like the full bottle with the thing underneath it, and then there's some photos you see it's just the bottle. That tells you how crazy that night was. That the trophy actually broke on the first night of its unveiling. But hey,
I have the base. I have the base with the bottle now.
Okay.
So we got that taken care of. But yeah, I remember like after the match, the base was off. I took it to a couple Forward Madison matches later, and it's just the bottle itself. So yeah, I blame Grego for breaking it. I don't care if it's right or wrong, because it was totally fun before the match, and all of a sudden we're getting presented. He's having to hold both the bottle and the base. It's like, what happened?
So this is the other thing that happened with Grego. So I was getting ready to walk the trophy over to y'all, but I got caught up with something with the Red Army because like the players were coming through. So I was just saying, was up to the players. Grego take the trophy out of my head. It goes positioned to y'all. Like, Grego has nothing to do with Richmond Kickers, nothing to do with Forward Madison. Like, this is why we call him the Don King of black soccer. Like, he is nothing more than a bachelor winner. That is it. Like, he has nothing to do with this rivalry at all, but he's over here presenting it like he invented it.
That tailgate and the night after and the match stuff, like that day really took the Henny Derby from something that Elliot and I had just had a running bet on for fun and turned it into this experience that, we talk about, and I think that we talk about and what we really try and promote. It's like that particular day was kind of the showcase for it. I think it would be the best word for it. And unfortunately, we can't do it this year thanks to COVID. So hopefully next year we can get that turned around, because this year, if the schedule had gone as originally planned, Madison would have gone to Richmond first game of the year,
which would have been insane. Down here in Richmond, it was a unique buzz that I haven't seen the team had in a long time. But that first game against Forward Madison, it would have been, the Henny Derby at home. But I mean, things work out for us that our true first home game was against y'all again, because it was supposed to be against Fort Lauderdale, but COVID put it into that. The way how both teams have gone so far, like both teams has been on the end of unlucky breaks. So whoever wins this game put themselves in great position to make a push for the playoffs. Whoever loses this game is like, yo, you have to win out to make a real good chance. And I mean, you kind of break the season up into quarters, but this is like a big game. Like, you don't want to lose this game. It's almost like that old saying when it comes to rivalries. It's like, I'll go winless the rest of the year as long as we beat them. Like, if we beat them, it's like, all right, I can live with that.
With how this season is and how, you pretty much have to be perfect to make the final two. This is the biggest rivalry in USL League One by far, and this is the only time they're playing. So if they're going to have this large of a rivalry, they got to win it, because I can live with losing to Omaha. I can live with losing to Chattanooga or Greenville or North Texas. I can't live with losing to Richmond and having to send the trophy down to Richmond. Like, I can't do it. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to be bitter. It will bother me until 2021.
And the other thing too about it is it's like losing to your brother. Like, it's like you can't stand it. Like, it's something about it that just itches at you. You're like, oh, I can't stand it. Like, I mean, same thing for us here in Richmond. Like, losing to Greenville, all right, cool, fine, whatever. Losing to Chattanooga, we don't really care. Losing to South Georgia, like, it hurts. But losing to Forward is like a different kind of hurt. Like, it stings different.
Due to the condensed 2020 season, we're only playing Richmond once this year. So whoever wins this match holds on to the Henny Derby trophy until 2021. And that's a long time to have those bragging rights. It'll be a tough match, but Forward are due for a positive result. So wherever you'll be watching, make sure you raise your glass of Hennessy, up the goes, and hope that Kyle doesn't have to stop by the post office next week to ship that trophy down south.